This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Mike Murphy.
Thank you, Charlie. Yes, I am Mike Murphy, host of the Good Neighbor Podcast. We talk to local business owners and people who help enhance the lives of the residents of Northern Kentucky. And the person that I have with me today is somebody that I am now meeting for the first time with many of you. Her name is Jin Hand, and she is the owner of the Hand Flute Studio. And I find it intriguing because I really have no idea what that means. I can kind of guess, but she's going to explain to us all about the Hand Flute Studio. So Jen, welcome to the podcast, and tell us about the Hand Flute Studio.
Thank you, Mike. So yeah, the Hand Flute Studio is as it is the title. It's a place where, I teach flute private lessons to kids of all ages. I mean, it can be adults as well, but just to enhance their fluting skills and abilities. Mm-hmm. And of course and they set out goals that I help them achieve their goals, and, just learning about life together and all that. And so that they can also feel confident and, just enjoy making music together. So yeah.
Okay. So are you considered a flautist? Is that the proper term?
Yeah, it's kind of still a thing, but you can call me flautist, you can call me flutist. It's really, flautist is a German way of saying it, and flutist
okay.
is, so either way is fine. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you. So how long have you been doing this? Or how long have you been playing?
I have been playing for 26 years now. So it's it's a very big part of my life, of course. Just as early as I can remember. I started when I was 12. So it was 26 years. And then teaching, it was about 18 years ago, I think. Yeah, about close to 18 years. Yeah. So.
Okay. So, as you and I spoke a little bit before we began recording the podcast, you mentioned that you came from South Korea. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. Yep.
All right. So how long were you in South Korea, and how long have you been in the States?
So I moved. I went to Canada first when I was about 10, 11.
Oh, okay.
And then I was there for about 8 years. And then for my senior year of high school, my flute teacher at the time suggested I should try for Interlochen Arts Academy in Michigan. And that's an arts high school in Traverse City. So that's where I did my senior year of high school and auditioned and I lived in the States ever since then. So, but I moved around a lot. So Michigan, and then Indiana, that's where I went for my bachelor's. And then I went to Arizona for master's and doctorate. And then I came back here. So I moved a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. You are well traveled. Well, I'm from Michigan, so I'm familiar with Interlochen and familiar with Traverse City. And that's a very famous school. And I think there are many famous people that have gone to Interlochen. And I love always talking about Michigan, Traverse City, etc. But it's not about me today. It's about you.
No, it's okay. We can have a conversation about it. I loved being there. It was a very beautiful place. Yeah, I enjoyed being there.
So one thing I'm curious about, if we want to just talk briefly about Interlochen, what was that experience like?
So it's arts high school, obviously. So there are students, from all over the world, actually, to just have that one goal of enjoy music, making music, and taking classes and taking private lessons. And of course, we would have a weekend that's actually Sunday and Monday instead of Saturday, Sunday. So it's like a Sunday, Monday. And we would just those weekends would be we have a bus, like a school bus that would take us to a mall or take us to church if we want to, so because there was really nothing around the school at the time that I went. So I'm sure it's different now. I actually haven't been back ever since I graduated, but yeah, it was really just kind of like an isolated area in a way. It's a very beautiful, summer camp kind of feel. But everybody was very serious and very dedicated and committed to making music and to be able to go to music schools that are widely known. So there were people, yeah, like you said, there are people who went to like Juilliard, like very famous musicians and artists, and like drama. Like there's a lot of just different people, like arts people that. But because we were in that school, all going for the same purpose, I think we could also relate to each other a lot more because it was so focused in that area, like the challenges or the successes. I think we all felt it together.
Have you ever played any other musical instruments, or was it always the flute for you?
So my parents, actually, especially my mom, she was very musical. She did not do any musical instruments, but she really wanted us to play. So I have two older sisters too, but she really wanted us to really do music, and have fun. And anyway, so then I started I started with cello when I was 4 years old. Because string instruments, you can't start that young because it's small. But of course, as a 4-year-old, sitting down to play or to practice, like I would just run around not wanting to practice, and my mom would chase me down and like, you gotta practice for your lesson. And I just wasn't interested, like I just couldn't do it, Now though, I do enjoy cello, and it's one of my favorite instruments, to listen to. But
nice.
yeah, but I do play, and I did learn how to play piano, and I always encourage too, like my students or other parents around me. I actually strongly encourage them doing piano lessons first, and then because it gives you a lot of like musical background, like you learn how to read music. Both hands, it's multitasking, so a lot of different skills that you need to actually further, if you want to get further into learning different instruments. Piano is a really good fundamental instrument to learn. So yeah, I do play piano, but not. I don't know if you want to take lessons from me about piano.
Okay. Well, I just think that's I don't know, that's just a very cool thing that you have that skill set.
Thank you.
So let's talk about the Hand Flute Studio. You have Northern Kentucky students, and you have some students up in Cincinnati. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yep, that is correct.
So what is the split there? Is it 50-50? Is it mostly Kentucky, mostly Cincinnati? What's that look like?
So right now, my studio is very equally distributed. So I do teach basically equal amount. So when I go to Ohio, though, I do have to split into 2 days
Okay.
because it becomes too much in back to back. And then I try to, and this is the thing about my studio is that I do try to fit everybody's preferences about their lesson times, their lesson schedules. So for me to be able to do that, and I wanted to open up more lesson days for my Ohio students, where Kentucky students, I teach out of my house, and I call it a studio. So there's like an area in my house that I teach. And so because I'm teaching from my house, with Kentucky students, I have a little bit more flexibility in terms of like if they have to make up a lesson, then I have more dates that I can offer. But with Ohio students, it used to be just one day, back-to-back lessons, but it just became a little bit like, well, I can't offer flexibility with them, which I really want to. So I decided to split that into 2 days. So the parents have the option of taking this day or this day and work into their schedule. So,
Okay. How many days a week are you teaching?
so right now, I guess 2 days in Kentucky and 2 days in Ohio. Yeah.
Okay. So would you like to boost that up to 7 days a week? You got to have some time off.
That is true. Yes, very true. Very true. Yep. Maybe just a little bit. I don't know.
So, if you look at your schedule, do you have a preference in terms of maximum number of students that you can take on, and how far are you from that?
So I do have maximum number. I think. I mean, especially because I have two boys. I have 10-year-old and I have an 8-year-old, and so
All
that
right.
I do have to, like you said, like I do have to balance out my life too, of course.
Yeah.
And the teaching really does happen after school. So but during the day I play in a schoolhouse symphony. That's a symphony that goes around schools in the tri-state area. So during the day, that's my job. My full-time job is that, to be a flutist and going around teaching not teaching flute, but teaching them about music. And we play shows depending on different age groups and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely do have a limited like number of students that I can take, but I'm not stopping in a way. Like if they want to take lessons with me, I try not to stop that, because that's really a privilege, you know. So I do have a limited number of openings, but it would be nice to still expand it as much as I can.
Okay.
You know.
So when you sleep at
If
night,
that answered the question, I don't know.
it did. I'm just, like if the goal of this podcast is to build awareness and get students, that's great. That's one thing. But
Yeah.
I just think that right now, one of the things I like to do is just to introduce interesting people to the community, and you have a lot of interesting things in your background to talk about.
Thank you.
And one of the things I'm
Thank you.
wondering is one of the things I'm wondering as we're talking is because music is so ingrained in you. When you sleep at night and you dream, do you dream of music? Do you have normal dreams like I do, or is it all about music?
Well, I think it's one of the job dreams that you might have. Like for me, the dream that I would have is one of those things, like I'm supposed to perform in front of these like big audience, big crowd, and I have no idea what I'm supposed to be playing, or I haven't haven't memorized the piece, like that panic feeling,
Yeah.
So those are the dreams that I call it nightmares in a way, because I don't want to be in that position in real life,
Right. Musical nightmare.
I do dream. Yeah, exactly.
Good. So you mentioned your boys. I think you said 8 and 10 years old.
Yep.
What are their name? What are their names?
So my oldest boy is Jonathan, and my youngest is Ryan.
Okay. And then you're married, correct? With a husband at home, is that correct?
Yes, I am married too. Yes,
What's
that's
his name?
correct. Yep.
What's his name?
His name is Matthew Hand.
Okay.
Matthew Hand.
All right. Matt Hand.
Yep,
very
that's
good.
right, Hand.
Okay. I may have met him. I mean, there's not very many hands around. I mean,
We might be
other
the
than
first
at
in
the end of
Northern
our
Kentucky.
right. So when you guys are when you're not teaching and when you're not playing, what do you and your family like to do for fun around Kentucky?
So we, because I have boys, and I'm the only girl, we try to do. I'm not much of a sports person. I never really liked doing sport, like gym classes. I always had a hard time with balls. But because we have boys, we love going to the sports. So we love going to the Reds game, and we love going to FC Cincinnati games, and all my boys are in sports teams. So like that became a really big part of me, of course, too. So yeah, we do sports, and we travel. We try to travel to closer areas, but we love to travel. And we just like to kind of hang out and just kind of talk sometimes. And I like to go shopping, and sometimes my boys sacrifice they whine and complain about it, but they end up doing it with me, just so that I can be happy too.
Are they into music? Do you have them playing instruments?
So yes, from their school, they take piano lessons, and that's one of those things that I do actually say, even myself, like I mentioned earlier, like the piano is going to be an instrument that you will be learning, But then my oldest, he's in band now, so he's doing percussion. So my husband, Matt Hand, used to be a percussionist. So that's how we met in music school. So he used to be a percussionist, and I'm a flutist. And then we met in Arizona. That's where we did my master's and doctorate. But so he did his master's in Arizona, and that's where we met. And he came here. He moved here as a doctorate in percussion at UC.
Okay. All right.
So and then after getting married, I moved over here too. So then after a year or two, he decided not pursue his doctorate degree in percussion and decided to go into a field that's a little bit more financially stable, let's say, because a lot of music things, it's a lot freelancing. And we discussed, and we wanted to make family. We wanted to grow and build a family together. So he became an internal auditor. So he used to work for Great American, and now he's at Mass Mutual send.
Okay.
But yeah, so we are in a way a musical family. We call,
Hmm.
because he plays drums now at our church.
Yeah.
So in the praise team. So he's still a drummer. So yeah, my oldest son, watching that, he wanted to learn how to play percussion. So he's in band playing percussion.
Okay. Well, at first I'm thinking, Matt's using both sides of his brain. He's got the musical side and the other side, but music is
Good
so
one.
kind of too, I mean, so
Yes.
good for him. All right. So let's see. Blue Ash, when you have students up there, I believe you said
Mhm.
that your studio is in a church. Is that correct?
Yes, so it's called Glory Baptist Church. It used to be a Korean church, actually.
Hmm.
That's the church that we used to go to. We attended there for 10 years. But because we moved to Independence, and the distance became a little bit too far, and
Okay.
and then we just kind of like, that's just where our chapter of being in that church ended. And we had to just find a different church in our
Mhm.
area. But yeah, they've been super generous about letting me use their space to be able to teach, because they think it's outreach to the community, and they're doing amazing. They just helped me have a place there to get, because I
Yeah.
couldn't let go of the students in Blue Ash. So they offered that I could use their space. So
Okay. And then when you have your Northern Kentucky students, they're coming to your home studio, correct?
yes, and a couple students, though, I do teach out of. A couple students are from my boys' school, so
Okay.
I'm also teaching at their school, and I teach students from there.
All right. So putting a lot of miles on your car.
I know, I know. Yes, for sure.
Okay. So, your South Korean culture, do you ever get back to South Korea? Um, when's the last time you were there?
So yeah, I was there about 3 years ago, 3 summers ago. We try to go as often as we can, for even for my boys to be exposed to the culture as well. So back
Hmm.
when I was a student, just by myself, I used to go there almost like every year, like especially in college. Every year I would be with my parents and spend time with my parents there. Um, so that being said, my parents live in Korea. So all the time that I was in America or in Canada, I really was away from my parents during that whole time. And
Okay.
I think I mentioned it to you. Like, I have two older sisters, so we were three sisters. Were all together. We're living together. We were doing, going to school together. So all this time, my parents were in Korea. And so they really made sure that we come and see them every year, and my mom would just come every 3 months to check, to be with us too, like that. Um,
Okay.
so now, after having family, though, of course, it's a lot. I mean, to be honest, it's a lot of money, to be able to go back to Korea.
Yeah.
And now kids are in school, the school schedules and all that stuff made it a little bit more complicated. So my parents come and visit us mostly, but then we try to go there maybe every other year or something like that. So we,
Okay.
we try to
Well,
go there
good.
often. Yeah,
Yeah. And when you can't, then there's always FaceTime.
exactly.
Yeah. So if somebody is taking flute lessons from you,
Mhm.
um, what's the timeline look like in terms of, from lesson number one to when they can sort of become proficient at it? I know everybody's kind of on their own timeline, but what's to be expected before somebody finally can say, "Yeah, I play the flute."
Got you. Yeah. So that's one of those things where you can play a song, let's say Hot Cross Buns, right? You can play
Hmm.
Hot Cross Buns within a month or two, but maybe 2 months. Let's just say 2 months, given,
Okay.
we have to learn how to blow into our instrument and learn how to finger all these notes. So
Yeah.
maybe 2 months. Um, but of course, it's also the thing about, well, how well do you want to play Hot Cross Buns? So I
Yeah.
think sometimes there is that misconception. I feel like, where when we're taking flute lessons or any music lessons, instrument lessons, is that, oh, by the 6 month period, I think I should have my child be able to do this, or
Yeah.
but then it's, to be honest, it doesn't really work like that. You know what I mean? I want them to be able to see that it's a long run thing. It's a long journey. It's like a marathon,
Hmm.
like, so you can
Okay.
reach certain point, but then you hit a plateau, and then it becomes a little bit like dull. Oh, this is boring. But then you overcome that plateau, and then you are again improved so much after that plateau. So it kind of is a wave of things, but it's really about how well do you want to play the hot cross buns. So usually I say, like after maybe 2 years, like 1.5 years or 2 years, then you really have the ability to play hot cross buns with vibratos, with musical, lines, and have more understanding of how this every note has meaning. Like things like that, more in depth, and then that becomes more skillful sounding, let's say. So it is a long journey. It's not something that, oh, let's just do it for 6 months or for a year and then let's quit. It's really about long. You got to look at it as a long run, because I have students who studied with me for 10 years, that student started when she was 8, and then she graduated high school. So it's like, and then she ended up becoming a really good flautist. She won like all national, and she won like youth orchestra, and she won like competitions, like things like that. You know what I mean? Like it's, you see the actual result of it throughout the years after year 2,
Okay.
So
well,
that's kind of wanted to tell the listeners.
You mentioned hot cross buns. That's the first song I played when I, picked up the saxophone 50 years ago. And my parents were tired of hearing that coming out of my bedroom. and I will say that my heart wasn't in it, so I did give up. I was more of a percussion guy, but then I just never really picked up the drums. But there's music in all of us. It's just a matter of finding, how to express it. Yeah, there's something for everybody within the world of music, even if it's just listening to it and appreciating it. But music is a big part of everybody's life.
Yes, well said. I love that. Yes, I agree, 100%. Yes.
That's why I'm here. So if somebody wants to reach out to you and maybe become a student of yours, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Of course, you can email me. You can reach out, like you can text me or call me. Of course, and I also have an Instagram page of my studio of students and what we're doing. Sometimes I post. Of course, I do get permission to upload their pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like I do sometimes. Again, it's my studio is not just about big things. My studio is about just maybe one song that I record with my students and we're having fun. So like you get to see different students with different songs, or we're doing different things, or it's not, and sometimes it's not about flute. Sometimes what I do also is, this past summer with my summer students, I did this sour candy challenge, where like how sour kids, like, are you good at sour candy, eating sour candy? So it's things like that where we just really have fun. It doesn't have to be flute too. Yes, we do flutes, but again, we know how to have fun. So definitely check out my Instagram page for things like that. I make videos of the progress of my students and all that. You get to have more of a better idea of what I do in my studio with my students.
Okay, so they can look you up on Instagram, the Hand Flute Studio.
Yes.
You mentioned, they can call you. What is the preferred phone number? I want you to say it so that we can have it noted in the podcast transcript.
Let's do it. My number is 480-313-5699.
Very good. Okay. And you live in Independence, correct?
Yes, correct.
So before we go, just give me your impressions of Independence. How do you like Independence? How do the kids like the schools there?
Oh, I love it. I love, and it's growing. I mean, there's of course mixed opinions about it, but I love it. I think, and we love the house that we're in. We love the neighborhood that we're in. So I can't say anything better.
Okay. Really, yeah, you're right. I mean, Independence is growing like gangbusters. I'd say Independence and Union are both kind of on the same track, where there's
Union too. Yes.
Yeah, you drive down the street and you see a new building popping up and a new sign, and so it's a fun, dynamic time to be a part of either community.
Oh yeah.
So before we go, is there anything we haven't talked about that you want to make sure to mention? I know you play. You're not just teaching, but you're playing too. Do you have any concerts coming up? Anything that you want to promote?
Yeah, so I think I talked to you about it, Mike, where I play frequently with Kentucky Symphony Orchestra. So we have a concert coming up actually on Halloween Day. So I have that concert coming up, and usually with other local orchestras that I play in, we do have like Christmas concerts, which I love. I think that's one of my favorite concerts. And then so throughout the year, I do have concerts here and there, playing with different symphonies in the area. And then about just to say a little bit more about my studio before I go, okay, before you let me go.
Sure.
Again, I want the listeners to know that my studio, I mean, I know all the music teachers feel the same way, but of course for my studio, for sure, I do value what we do in our lessons. It's not just, let's play the flute for 30 minutes or 40 minutes or an hour and go home. It's for me, I really view it as building relationship with these students. I do value what they go through in life, and I just briefly talked about my background and my experiences, but I always tell my students, whatever they're feeling, like their struggles, their challenges, let it be about the flute or not about the flute. I've been there. I've done that. I've done everything. I felt those feelings that they feel, so I always relate to them in that way. So it's not just about playing notes here and there. I'm teaching them how to not give up. I'm teaching them how to push through. I'm empowering them with the life struggles, like challenges. So it's not just about, let's not give up. I'm pushing them. Let's say, let's try this competition so you can be better. You can play better. And I'm teaching you to persevere, so it's about really life skills also aside, along with the flute skills. So that's what I wanted to actually share with you today.
Okay, so it's apparent you have the heart of a teacher, and whether that be music or just seeing what a child needs to thrive, and you're kind of helping to elevate them and fill in the gaps that you can identify that maybe, every student's different, and you're able to connect with them however you need to elevate them as people. Okay.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah. Yes.
Good. Well, Jen, I'm glad we got to meet today, and I'm glad that I got to introduce you to the residents of Northern Kentucky. And I really enjoyed our time together. So you tell Matt that Mike Murphy says hello.
I will. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it too. I really had a lot of fun talking to you.
I look forward to meeting you in person and seeing you out in the community and hearing you play one day. All right.
Yes,
very good.
Sounds good.
Well, that being said, this is the wrap up of the latest episode of the Good Neighbor Podcast. I will always say to everybody out there, everyone, be good to your neighbor. And until I see you again, so long, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Union. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpunion.com. That's gnpunion.com, or call us at 859-651-8330.